Well, the lady in black didn't ask us out for a second date, so we'll try our luck with the next dancing partner in the South, Richmond Raceway. This track used to be named Strawberry Hill, but as the first short track in some time in the Area Cup Series, the only thing that's sweet is the retaliation from frustrations left over from last week. Kyle Heyer, Finney DeCuna, and Hunter Sleppy joining you tonight. We should have Eric Wineland a little bit later tonight in this 167-lap dance around Richmond Raceway. Finney, welcome back. After Richmond, there were quite a few drivers that were frustrated in the way things ended, but I think tonight this is the perfect opportunity to get somebody back.
I was going to say, it really was ironic. And there were so many drivers angry after Darlington. It almost felt like we were at a short track. Well, we are finally at a short track, and like you mentioned, this is the perfect place for drivers to get out some frustration, especially as the playoffs loom further and further ahead. Including this round, we only got 4 more races left until the playoffs. You got Homestead, Indianapolis Oval, and then Talladega left on the schedule until the playoffs begin. Taking a look at the point standings, Matheson, Horn, Nichols, Becker, and Schuyler, the only drivers locked in with a win, and then everyone else in on points. You can see it's still very close near the cutoff with a bunch of drivers still just trying to punch their way in, so close yet so far.
Indeed, but not the case for Michael Curran, plus 52 to the cutoff line, sitting in a pretty good spot. Seth Knowles Springer, plus 20 or so. Then you get to Jeremy Miller Reinhardt's around 18 to 13 points above, and then you get closer to Cedric Hunter, and then Ed Shearer Jr. Plus 3 points is the difference. After a bad race last week from Bryce Senesac, after all the carnage that happened at the Lady in Black, Too Tough to Tame, Darlington Raceway, he falls outside that top 12. Now Doug Newbigging, Matthew Bell also close, along with Casey LaCavis looming in. But those guys are inside the top 20 from 20th to 13th. If you get a win and you stay inside the top 20, Kyle, you're locked in and you're good to go for the playoffs.
Yeah, it came down to strategy last week late in the going, and Connor Horn came out of absolutely nowhere to steal that one. That was a bit different than the previous race that he won of the season, where he showed up and was present all night long at the front. Not the case last week. So that was a bit of a wild card. He stole one last week from guys like Jake Nichols and Jake Matheson, so they've got some work to do to continue to pad their lead. But as 167 laps tonight, Finney, and this race has the possibility of going by very quickly. But as we've seen in the past couple of seasons here, seasons 3 and 4, it also has the potential to be quite a mess and bring some uncertainty with it like we saw last week.
Oh, absolutely. And again, when you bring in the middle of the season, too, there have been frustrations boil up. Drivers are getting sick of seeing the same face, running into each other constantly throughout the season. There's a great chance for this to all boil over coming into tonight. We always typically associate the short tracks with tensions boiling over because typically ends up being, especially with these next-gen cars, harder to pass. You need to almost get a little bit physical, and sometimes see people get a little too physical like we saw in the playoffs last season here at Richmond.
And speaking of Richmond, we got Michael Curran, as mentioned, top driver in the playoffs without a win. Got a new sign there, but Discord's acting all kerfluffled. Oh, there we go. My Twitter account is worth 371,922 Iranian rails. That is a lot of money. I'm going to go see
I'm doing the conversion right now.
Oh.
Well, yeah, what do you guys got? I'm curious.
$257.87.
Oh, that's
not as much as I was hoping for, to be honest. But
oh no, I was just guessing. I don't know. I don't know what the actual number is.
I thought you were right.
Well, somebody's got to do the conversion while we're qualifying.
I got it. Oh. It's $8.83.
Oh, it's so much worse.
What?
Oh man, it's so much worse. Anyway, Cameron Hearn bails out in his qualifying attempt. Here's James Shanewolf making his way around in the number 75 as he rockets up out of turn number 4. He's got a couple of laps on the board already, and none of them counted. Garrett Grant, Mason Kane, Casey Lacatas, Vincent Cortez, the only drivers with times on the board, are going to get 2 laps here because this track is under a mile.
Yeah, with that, it gives you drivers a little bit of a cushion to work with compared to just having that 1 lap to work with. You can try to, be a little bit conservative on the first lap, see what you get out of it in the second lap. You try to push just a little bit more, and we're going to see drivers try to, push that a little bit extra, especially to get near the top. Seth Noel, one of those drivers across, and he's going to go straight to the top in the number 1 machine to provisional pole.
So the track record here is a 21.377 set by Nate Chater, but that was back in season 1 with the Gen 6. The next gen track record, 22.171 from Jake Nichols, and that's the time that these guys are looking to beat, and
They already
Connor
did.
Horn might be able to do just that.
Yep, Seth Knoll and now Connor Horn have both beat at 22.084 for Connor Horn as he goes now to the top of the board. Seems fairly content with that. As Mr. Mittens in the background sleeping in the back seat, getting ready to go racing tonight for 167 laps.
Let's see if Connor's going to be able to stay there. Only 7 drivers across the line at the moment. Cameron Herney finished his time. He's up to 3rd position. Looking at Jeremy Miller out there on his first flying lap on the back straightaway. Trying to see the number 30 can join his teammate up near the top of the standings. He's going a little bit high in turns 3 and 4. I guess he's setting up for everything for lap number 2.
Last time we were here at Richmond, Connor Horn came oh so close where he was in a must-win situation to get into the championship 4. Came up just a bit short, but looking for some vengeance tonight, as is Cameron Hearn. And then there we see Jeremy Miller looking to keep his strong season going.
See what Miller's got. Big slide out of turn 4. That's going to lose him a bunch of time, but regardless, it's in a 22.419. Good enough for 9th place. Jake Matheson just went 3rd quickest of the group. Skylar Shackelford and Spencer Burns are on track. Spencer's crashing out of turn 4 and will throw away lap 1 and 2. Yeah,
through the infield. Got to mow the grass a little bit before the start of the race.
Have a look at it.
I think we're going to see quite a bit of this tonight. See him just lose the end out of turn 4 and wasn't quite able to save it. Just tried to bail out to save it. You can see the flagman wondering, where is he going?
I think we're going to see a lot of that, especially on the corner exit of turn 4. I was just about to say, we might see some of that tonight. Some overcorrection there from Skylar Shackelford.
Oh, and I think he crossed the line too.
Yeah.
That will cost him dearly. Michael Curhan rolls out of the box. Only 12 cars have qualified of the roughly 30 that are here. That's a pretty small number, and we don't have that much time left to go.
Everyone's waiting, I think, more towards the end. Guys like Jake Nichols, Jacob Bell, Brave Slake, Connor Fresnick, James Kelly, Matthew Bell, they all still yet to qualify. They're all waiting patiently in pit lane. I'd say that Jake Nichols, he's rolling off the pit lane at the moment.
Say, Kyle, I think these guys are waiting for that sun to go down just a little bit so the track temperature cools down by a degree or 2, equaling more grip in the turns.
Yeah, but if you have to rush your qualifying effort to make it before the timer runs out and you throw it all away, or you have to stop and reset, you could end up starting at the back of this field. It's not a place I would like to start tonight. Michael Curhan goes 2nd quick. That is a good lap there for the number 24.
Just missed out on pole by 15 thousandths of a second, but still a really solid time. We'll see if it'll hold or if the gap will get even smaller up on the top. Jake Nichols now out for his qualifying lap, number 73, coming out of turn 4 to complete lap number 1.
Yeah, 3 top 5s and 5 top 10s this season for Curran. And to the top of the board, Jake Nichols beating his own track record.
22.076 to the top by 9 thousandths of a second over Connor Horn. That's a really strong lap. That was only lap 1. Let's see if he's got anything more here on lap 2. It looks to be about even. And it is going to be slightly quicker, actually.
Yeah, he's actually decently quicker. It was 9 thousandths of a second ahead of Connor Horn the first lap, 33 thousandths the second lap. James Keller, the next competitor, going to go a little bit high in 3, come down on 4. I think he's setting up everything for lap number 2. We'll see if the 7 can squeeze his way up near the top of the standings, though it's very congested there. The top 5 all within a 10th of each other, and is getting closer and closer.
16th on the board, looking to improve on lap number 2, trying to contend with the front runners like Jake Nichols, Connor Horn. Will he start on the front row? Here he comes off turn 4, looking to put down a steaming flyer of a lap time.
17.
To
the pole.
Yep.
22.038. James Scioli goes to the top of the board by 14 thousandths of a second. That was surprising even to me.
We're seeing faster and faster laps here in the end of qualifying, which I can't imagine it's too big of a... I think it's pretty obvious why guys are waiting near the end, waiting for that sun to go down just a little bit. Track looks a little bit cooler, trying to get everything. These guys fighting literally for thousandths of a second on the racetrack. Brave Slate across the line, 15th fastest, and actually that'll be it for him, completing both laps.
Also messed up on his first lap, and I mentioned this to Kyle and Finney, and there's always that one guy who just sticks with his throwback ski for the rest of the season, and I think we just found it with Connor Okrezik.
Yep, and I like it too. I don't blame him. That Tony Stewart vintage Old Spice paint scheme, 16th quick on his first lap. We'll see what he's got on lap number 2. Travis Beckner just rolling down. Douglas Newbeging rolling as well. Jacob Bell has 1 lap in the books, did not count. He's going to go again for a second one. Here comes Okrezik out of turn 4. Tyler Nichols goes up to 8th. Okrezik is going to go up to 8th. Blaze McKinney, 3rd, Finian, as he gets his lap.
I was going to say, very solid lap by him, throwing himself between Nichols and Connor Horn will be in row number 2 as it stands. Travis Beckner coming out of turn 4. He'll cross the line to start the first of his 2 qualifying laps in the Calusa Hines Camaro. Right way I wanted to do, and he's just taking it easy. He knows which lap he's setting up for.
Looking for that whole time, or at least again on the front row, as working that upper groove. I don't think we're going to see a lot of that tonight unless it's just guys trying to get out of the way. But we'll see what the 20 of Beckner can do.
First lap isn't going to be a stonking one. It'll only put him 21st, but it's that second lap where the speed is. And the 28 coaxes the side wall here, foraging for grip. On the entrance to 3, drops to the yellow line. Let's see what Beckner's got here out of 4. A little bit wiggly and wobbly. A little snip and a snap, and across the stripe, shakes his head. And it is only good enough for 11th. Not so bad.
Yeah, but I think he knows he lost that wiggle there, and 3 and 4 is going to be what killed him and cost him potentially a couple spots. He actually had an almost identical time with Tyler Nichols, but just a hair slower. We'll put him back in 11th.
Jacob Bell out here.
Just in the nick of time, goes 13th quick. Qualifying is complete. And with that, we'll take a moment before our race to tell you about some of the partners and people that make this happen. Race fans, be sure to subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel. As a subscriber, you'll have Area iRacing emotes to use in the chat. You'll also earn double channel points as a subscriber that you can use to redeem for free merchandise, all at the price of just $5 a month. So as we wait for the kickoff of this 167-lap race, there are some learnings from the previous couple of races here. What is going on in Travis Beckner land also?
Having a rave?
That is... seizure warning. Oh, God.
I was going to say, I had the epilepsy warning before you do that.
The learnings I was going to point out, guys, was that this race does not have a history of going very green. So can you plan your strategy around that? The tire's not going to wear out a whole lot. You're going to get a bunch of yellows. That means that track position is the name of the game, and you're just going to try to ride the yellows all the way to the front, right, Finian?
I mean, I guess so. I mean, that's what I think, the big thing is that you never really know. You feel like there's definitely going to be some cautions. You never know exactly when they're going to land. It can be at the beginning of the run, end of the run, and anywhere in between. And then really, as far as tire strategy, it's kind of up in the air. It almost comes down to these guys just kind of having to throw a Hail Mary and just kind of bet when they think it's going to happen.
Well, race fans, start your engines with a fresh cup of Roasted Gems coffee. Choose some of the finest coffee beans from Colombia and Peru, or try the blended flavors of French vanilla and hazelnut. Use discount code Area iRacing for 10% off your order at checkout at roastedgems.com. Starting lineup, James Scioli on the front row in the number 7 Chevy Camaro. Jake Nichols looking for a win after last week's disappointment at the tail end. He will come home, or at least start this race in second after coming home in the same spot last week, Finian.
Yeah, moving on back in 3rd place is going to be Blaze McKinney. We haven't seen quite a bit of near the front in recent weeks. See what he can do from 3rd place. Next time, last week's winner, Connor Horn in the 42, starting in 4th.
And starting in 5th, nice starting spot here for Michael Curhan in the 24 Ford. Seth Knowles starts in 6th to the number 1.
Back in 7th is going to be Jake Matheson in the number 56 machine. Next to him, Connor Okrezik in the number 14, rolling off in 8th.
And 9th place, Cedric Hunter, the number 13. Tyler Nichols starts 10th in the number 41.
Back 11 is going to be Travis Beckner in the number 28. Next to him, Cameron Hearn in the number 4, Ryan up in 12th place.
13th place is Jacob Bell in the number 77 Camaro. Garrett Grant rolls off 14th in the number 5 Toyota.
Back in 15 is going to be Mason Kane in the 31 car. Next to him, Matthew Bell lined up in the number 9 car in 16th.
In 17th place, it's Bryce Senesac in the 09. Ed Robertson starts 18th in the number 64.
Row 10 is going to be Casey Lakatos in 19th in the number 50. And rounding out our top 20, Justin Bonnarant in the number 11 car.
And 21st place is Jeremy Miller in the number 30. Disappointing qualifying effort. We'll see what he's got for race pace. Rafe Slate starts 22nd in the number 8.
Back in 23rd is going to be the 22 of Dom DeLeo on the inside. Next to him, Justin Anasoyak in the 67 in 24th.
And 25th place is Vincent Cortez in the number 32. Douglas Newbeging rolls off 26th in the number 71.
Now we started getting to the drivers that didn't set a time down. David Weiser going to be starting in the 33 car in 27. Spencer Byrne next to him in 28th in the 06.
And last row here, with the exception of James Shanewolf at the tail end, it's Tyler Shackelford in 29th. In the 88, Ben Pierce starts 30th in the number 65. And as I mentioned, James Shanewolf starts at the rear. All right, let's pick our favorites to win tonight. Hunter, let's start with you. Who you got winning?
I'm going to go with the pole sitter, the 7 of Scioli. Last oval win came a season ago at Auto Club.
Vinny DeCuno, who you got?
I'm going to pick last season's winner at Richmond, Jake Nichols in the 73.
I'm going to roll off with last week's winner, Connor Horn. I think he's got some good momentum coming. I think he's got the skill and strategy to get the job done here tonight. We'll see what the 42 can do. Hopefully earn me some points. Things have not been going well in that.
I don't say, how are points going? I haven't had a look at them.
Got to have Michael Curran update us. I don't think there's a Sim Racer Hub page for that just yet.
They're going to have to start making one at this rate.
It's Jake Matheson starting in 7th in this race. Maybe a bit surprised at the qualifying effort here, but we know the race pace will be good, so no cause for alarm. If this race were to go miraculously from green to checker without a caution flag, it would take us 1 hour, 1 minute, and 25 seconds. Well, as I said in the intro, last week we took the lady in black out for a dance. She didn't ask for us back. So let's go dancing in Richmond Raceway. Short track racing in the Area Cup Series, round 9 of season 5 about to get underway. Here we go from Strawberry Hill, green flag, and we're racing in Richmond. Jake Nichols about to clear Scioli out of turn 4, but James throttles up, dead heat at the line. Nichols leads the first lap finish.
Yeah, Nichols threw it hard into turn 1, and Scioli's been struggling to get back, especially that exit off the corner. That high lane seems to be the place to be with that exit, and Nichols will finally clear the number 7. He will take the lead of this race.
A little further back, got some smoke coming from the 31 of Mason Kane, and he locks up in 3. There's Jacob Bell to the outside of Tyler Nichols, getting a little loose and going to be under attack now from Kane.
Good battles here. Blaze McKinney looking for second on Scioli. This time Blaze goes to the bottom. And Connor Horn sits in behind in that green car watching for position. A little bit of slipping and sliding here.
Yeah, a little bit further back there, 3 wide. Robertson caught out way up on top. Oh, he's sideways into the wall. You can see right there as he's been struggling early on.
Yeah, he almost hit the wall in turn 2. Got it there in turn 4. Too early to be taking that sort of a hit. Still green here on lap 4, and oh my goodness, almost jinxed it.
Sideways, he keeps it straight. One of the things I was going to mention was last week at Darlington, we saw how robust these cars are. Despite that, spin slide, 2 cars spinning out of 4. Newbeginn's 1, and Asogak was the other. They both keep it straight, but despite how strong the cars are, we did see a number of them out by the halfway point of the race, Vinny.
Yeah, we'll see if it's going to be the same case here, especially, I mean, you're going to have much smaller incidents with the relatively low speed here, but we're already seeing some guys struggle here with handling early on in these opening laps, especially on the exit of 2 and 4.
Oh my goodness, oh, we almost had one there, still trying to corral it, though, 9 of Sunsack. Looking for another strong run, but not going in the right direction.
Oh, man, they're everywhere back there.
Robertson again.
Struggling with rear grip, and I wonder, you know, the track temperature is relatively cool, and I have to wonder, with the tires as hard as they are they struggling to warm up and grip to the racetrack, or is it because they're too hot? I don't really know what the tire's doing. I just know that they don't wear out that much. We're running as fast 7 laps in as we were on lap 1.
I guess there's not a lot of rear grip for these guys in general, so, you know, whether it's the tires or just the way the setup is, these guys have to be a little bit more careful when they get back onto the throttle, because you can easily loop this thing around, as we're seeing really early on. But it looks like, at least for the leaders, for the most part, they're managing relatively single file. I think we're going to see this for quite a bit. Drivers are trying to feel out the car, get settled out, although still some side-by-side action going on in the midfield.
All about throttle controls. We see a replay of what happened to the 09 at Senesac just a moment ago. Going down the front stretch here, and gets a tap from Bondurant, or oh, actually Bell goes down into the 09, gets them all squirrely, and loses a handful of spots.
Yeah, that could have been a lot worse than it was. We go back to watching Senesac here battling for 21st. He's gone back a few spots now side by side with Jeremy Miller in that purple number 30. And that work with David Weishart in behind him.
Is going to go clear. Ooh, almost tried to do the over-under on the 30 of Jeremy Miller, but couldn't quite get the nose there in time, so he'll have to settle back in 21st, and you can see the white number 33 Chevy Camaro in the background. Weishart lurking, waiting for a move.
Weishart, last week's winner from the Pro Series at Darlington, after chaos ensued and wiped out most of the front runners, he was able to come away unscathed and with the win. So riding on that momentum, we move a little further up in the field. Matthew Bell running 15th so far, and Bell really smacked the wall coming out too.
Justin Bondurant takes a look down the inside of Jacob Bell. He seems to be the most active right now, about 16th to 25th. That seems to be where most of the action is, as 77 slips up and Bondurant goes on by.
Yeah, Bell was trying to look to the outside. He ended up tapping the wall, and now he's going to lose the spot to 11. And H. Delgado, who's trying to move his way forward in the number 50. It was Ray Slate that slammed the door shut on the 77.
Battle for 18th still going on. Lacadas might have the edge here coming out of turn 4 and down into turn 1. Here comes the 30 of Jeremy Miller looking to make his way closer towards that top 15.
Yeah, and I think just getting laps under the belt here, getting some rubber on the racetrack is pretty critical to this race, kind of getting into a rhythm. You just wonder, if you get a caution early, are you ever going to really be able to get into your muscle memory? This is a track a lot like Bristol or Martinsville, where you're doing so many laps. And quick roll, there that is. Ray Slate spins in turn 1. Can he keep it straight? He does, but the caution's out because behind him everybody had to stop.
They are wrecking in the inside of turn 2, in it, the 88 of Shackelford in it.
Vincent Cortez is in it. Just mentioned getting laps under, but not how that quite panned out.
Watch the replay, it's a bit spicy here.
Different perspective here. That's Justin Bondurant, then Ray Slate in the 8. You know what that reminds me almost exactly of? 2008, Kyle Busch, Dale Earnhardt Jr. When they go off into the corner.
Big fan of that moment.
Right there, a little slip. Takes out the 8. And then behind them, as they came to a stop, the 88 got tagged with Weishart. And then Cortez had to file in there.
And on the bright side, relatively low speed impact, so everyone's going to come out and just do maybe a damage assessment for the most part and get back going in the right direction. But first caution out fairly early after on lap 14.
So about a half a dozen on pit lane. Senesac, Robertson, DeLeo, and Asogak, Weishart, Shackelford, and Shane Wolf. Big Nichols is your leader. McKinney, Scioli, Horn, Curhan, your top 5. That has not changed since about lap 2 of this race, but it was changing quickly behind that.
Yeah, I'm too surprised what we saw from the leaders. Everyone is kind of, like you were talking about, build that muscle memory, just get into a groove. Most of the, I think pretty much the entire top 15 was pretty much single file after the first couple laps, a little bit of battling here and there, but everyone just kind of feeling out the race car. James Scioli not feeling it at the moment as he's brought back to 3rd after leading the field to Green, Nichols, and McKinney getting past him.
And this will be a good indicator to see how much of an advantage tires are. Only about a 16-lap difference from 23rd on back who pitted. Will be interesting to see if it's better, say we have a short stint to the end, like a green-white checker or maybe a 5-lap dash, and guys stay out on tires, see how much of an advantage or disadvantage that is in the late stages of it. But here's Jake Matheson, all 7s on the board. That's where he's been so far tonight.
Yeah, hasn't been able to move forward either, which is that a concern here? This early in 15 laps, didn't go anywhere, maybe, but I think it's just going to show you how strong track position is as a strategic component tonight. Don't think you can rely on driving through the field, even with the tire advantage, but we'll see how those drivers at the tail do with those fresh Goodyears.
Definitely the first really first test to see if that is going to be the case. I just doubt it. I think if we were with the Truck Series or with the Pro Series cars, I think that definitely would have been a case for arguing for fresh tires. But we've seen time and time again fresh tire is not really worth it. And if anything, what I'm curious to see here, we're talking about, the harder tire for these next-gen cars, that, whether or not these guys might have maybe a bit of advantage with the tires relatively up to temperature compared to the fresh tires off the pit road.
Pace cars off. Let's go back to the restart here, lap number 19. First restart of the night. Jake Nichols on the bottom, and we're back underway in Richmond. Four wide almost down into turn one. Oh boy. With a 06, Spencer Burns on the way outside. Didn't get the qualifying effort he wanted, but he smacked the wall at it too as well.
Followed a couple cars, Mason Kane and the 41 of Tyler Nichols. Ooh, some beating and bang, Ray Slate around in the middle. Hard as a collects Jimmy Miller, and they're wrecking out forward.
Caution number 2 of the day on lap number 20, and boy, oh boy, that was brewing all the way from the beginning of the restart.
It was, and Jeremy Miller's got some big time damage on that number 30. Holy cow. And Rafe Slade in it again. He was sandwiched in the middle and didn't seem like he had a lot of places to go, but let's go back and look at this again. Down the backstretch. Spencer Burns is on the outside of him here. They go off into 3. Kane, see Lakatos get into the 8, gets into Kane, and then it just turns into pinball here.
That's a hard hit for the 30 of Jeremy Miller, and that's not what he needed at all. He lost two positions in points, down to 9th in the standings after last week at Darlington.
Yeah, and watch the 31, I think just kind of got tagged and then spun out just trying to avoid it. But you're right, the 30 really got the worst of that, didn't he?
Yeah, the worst of it was really nowhere near the start of it. It was just trying to avoid it. Oh, man. That was a hard lick to the left rear.
Sogak saw a lot of that right out the windshield here.
Got in the binder pretty quick, or went around it.
As quickly as the 8 was kind of the victim of the previous wreck. That one was placed on him, so it'll be an EOL for Rafe Slate. He did have some contact from the 50 that initiated it, but I think they felt like perhaps there was more to it. We're now joined by Eric Weiland. Been missing you, bud. Welcome back to the booth here. The bloodbath has started early here at Richmond. Go ahead.
This was the fear, Finian and Kyle. Excuse me, sorry, Kyle. This was the fear that if these guys couldn't get green flag runs, that this would become a caution fest, and so far it has. Was talking with Rafe Slate, trying to listen in. They said some stuff over the radio that I'm not going to play.
Already. It's lap 22, guys.
No. It wasn't bad language. It's just probably against TOS. Okay. So,
yes.
Regardless, Rafe was saying that he didn't really care and was just kind of going out here to get what he can. It's not been a good first half of the season, regular season for him. But then he was not too happy with Spencer Burns taking it 4 wide more than anything. I think they just kind of got all squeezed together. I could understand Race Control's call on him for that. I could also understand it being a racing incident as well, as we get a look at our SimWrap market replay here. But this nullifies a lot of strategy. So it's more so going to come down to when you decide to take tires and how well they're going to help you. As you see, Rafe is not happy with the 06 trying to push it here on the short run off the restart. So no one has opted to take that set of tires yet. Most of the guys back here, as Finian pointed out under the previous yellow, are doing damage repair more than anything. So they can go 125 laps on fuel. We're not quite to that window yet with 144 remaining. But it's going to be the game of, can you get track position by pitting under yellow and cycle yourself to the front? And I hate that game. It's the hardest one to play.
Yeah, that was something we talked about at the very top of the show, is track position mattering so much because the tires are rock solid. You're going to get a lot of yellows. So, the goal here really is to stay out front as long as you can on your fuel and your tires before you have to make that stop. And I think also maybe there's just an element of just letting the race play out a bit. We could go green for a while, but it's more likely that we'll get some 10, 15 lap runs and then a quick rash of yellows. So plan accordingly or don't plan at all, I think is the trick to this.
I think the name of the game is just wing it. I mean, you do have to just kind of play this by ear and just kind of hope for the best. Maybe try to get an idea, see how everything's playing out, see who's driving where, the aggressive drivers, where they are in relation to the rest of the field. and just kind of make your best educated guess, because I don't think there really is any formal strategy planning for most of these guys. It's a matter of just playing it by ear and just kind of hoping for the best, keep your fingers crossed.
Eric, also, while you're here, pick me a winner for this race. You're in early enough, I think you're allowed to.
Do I get to pick two since I missed last week?
Sure.
I need to catch up on that. Let's take Jake Matheson and Jake Nichols. I need to get myself back on track.
All right. Green flag, Jake Nichols off and away. Blaze McKinney second, and Connor Horn has cycled up to third. He can clear this number 7, James Scioli, off into turn 1. And back in racing here at Richmond.
Yes, Scioli's really been struggling with his restarts where he's losing the most positions. Connor Horn, almost tempted on making a big dive to the inside of McKinney, but ended up getting the door slammed shut on him. But a good start before the 42.
Fine, hold on to that top 5. A little further back here, some more side-by-side action. 7th second in the 9, trying to take the outside lane approach. Trying to get around Vincent Cortez. Ben Pierce is also in there in the 18th spot.
Love the livery on this Gradient Concepts 65. Didn't note it earlier, but here he is running 18th after starting second to last. So this is a good climb for
Pierce. Hernandez gave a mighty bump to the back of the 28 of Travis Beckner, heading off into turn 1.
Never any love lost between Hearn and Beckner.
They're already starting early. It's only lap 28.
Beckner's a little sideways there, but did the old steering wheel shimmy to hang on to it. Got him looking in the mirror, though. I saw that last time around.
Up for second place, Connor Horn trying to make work on Blaze McKinney. Into turn 1, made the opening. Now going to try to make a dive, and actually the 87 going to give it to him.
Let's see how that works out in the long run. Meanwhile, he's got the 7 of Scioli on this bumper, trying to take third. Back, going to dive down low to block, but going to leave a lane open for the 7 into turn 1. To no avail. Meanwhile, a little further back, you got Seth Knoll inside of Beckner trying to move up to the 7th spot. Then right behind him, still door to door, it's Cameron Hearn and Cedric Hunter in the 13 and the 4.
Door to door, those two Mustangs behind the two Camaros here, side by side. And Hunter will have to give up a spot to Hearn, who's going to fill that outside gap, and a big stack up on the bottom behind Michael Curran in the 24. That's going to let Cameron Hearn roll the outside and get almost up alongside the 28.
Trying to roll the outside, but just struggling to get back on the power. Again, the rear end, it's really, it's so tempting to jump back on the power, but you got to modulate, especially being in that outside lane. So you got to be careful with it. He's still fighting with the 1 for 8th place, diving it hard to the outside in turn 1. Going to go to the outside of that 28 of Beckner. We gave a punt not too long ago.
The outside might be an advantage for some. Whenever it's this sort of racing where everyone's on the bottom, there's some checkups that occur. Hearn's going to come through and clear the 1 for the 8th spot on the track. So in that case, it might be an advantage to run the outside lane. But for the meantime, most cars running the single file and on that bottom groove. Tire smoke ahead going into turn 1. There's a little side-by-side battle. Bell around Bondurant, and then behind them, got the 8 of Slate as Bondurant taps the wall without a front bumper, trying to get around the 22 of the Leo.
That's what short track cars should look like, missing a front bumper. It's been a long time since we've seen cars racing like that with the NASCAR damaged vehicle policy, but here at iRacing, no such thing. We've spent some time on pit lane, but has that solid rock vehicle back up and rolling, moving around the outside of Dom DeLeo, who had a big slide early. They came
you
together.
know what? Sorry, guys. I should add that there's still a little temper between the 22 and the 8 after last week at Darlington.
Slide.
Oh, my goodness. Ben Pierce going down to the 8.
Spin, DeLeo, turn 4.
And that was, I'm not sure if he made contact with the 8 or he just got really loose to his inside, but no caution because there's no traffic coming on by.
Stay green. I don't know if there was a touch, but
Think of anything, maybe if that's the air, a little bit of side drift.
A little tap in the middle, but just lost it on his own coming out of the 4. But yeah, I was going to say these two still have a little bit of beef after last week at Darlington, so good to keep an eye on that there. As Ben Pierce nearly going to the apron again around the 88 of Shackelford.
I had a thought and I lost it. That's how my night's going. Yeah, that's not going so good.
Put a missing poster up for it.
Got 130 laps to find it.
It's gone.
Michael Curran trying to see if he can get past the 28 of Beckner, and it looks like he's going to it's Beckner making an attack on 24 with that of him. And no dice for him. James Scully, see him running up a lane. Jake Matson looking more and more like he wants to take that spot away. It's not been a particularly good start for James Scully, but it's a great start for Jake Nichols, who took the lead immediately, and he's now hiked out about a little over a second gap back to Connor Horn.
Eric Wineland, what you got?
So not going well for Dom DeLeo. He called this his flu game. Someone picked up the coronavirus this week, and it is the driver of the number 22. He's very under the weather. As best as I could tell from that incident we just saw watching the replay, no contact, but there is, I did hear through the grapevine that the 8 is not happy with the 22 following some antics last week. So, I mean, Rafe ran it really hard, but I didn't see contact that triggered the incident. Dom just got loose, unfortunately. And he said it's his flu game, but it's not going well.
Didn't look like it, and I just remember my thought that I lost as these three go at it here for about 5th spot. When that car was sideways on the front straightaway, completely stopped, I was shocked that we didn't have a yellow flag. That was the longest I've seen a car sideways on the surface where we didn't get a yellow. We got a little bit lucky there. Perhaps it's a statistic that we'll keep an eye on later, how resilient the cautions are from coming out, but that almost certainly could have been one.
I think it just had to do with cars coming by. Because I think if there's a car near or approaching, the caution comes out. But yeah, we got lucky, I guess, for everyone else, except for him, that a caution didn't come out. Who battled side by side close. Vincent Cortez making a pass upon the 0-6 Spencer Burns, battle for 20th between these two.
On board with the 88. Oh, close coming out of turn 2 with Burns to the outside and Shackelford to the inside. Looking to complete the pass on 21st and looking to make his way up to the top 20 on the bumper of Cortez.
Shackelford right on the back of the 20th spot car at the moment, but Jake Nichols has just set sail out front, 1.6 seconds. Back to Connor Horn, and it's Blaze McKinney running in 3rd. And is this 87 car perhaps a standout driver so far in this one?
Definitely. I mean, for Blaze McKinney, like I mentioned before, I feel like it's been a while since we've seen him near the top of the order. He's currently mired 26th in points after missing one race, and really for him, he's not had a decent finish. He's not had a finish inside the top 10 since Atlanta, so it's been a really good run for him up here in 3rd. Eventually 2nd if he can get past Connor Horn.
Qualified 8th the last 2 races before tonight at the Charlotte Oval in Darlington, and ironically finished 29th in both races too. So looking to get a hot streak going as we're nearing the playoffs, at least to get inside the top 20. Need that and a win to get in. But we ride in sim now with the 24 of Current trying to keep the 4 of Hearn at bay. Teammates for Fazekas doing battle into turn 1.
Side by side here, Cameron Hearn in the 4, despite the urgency in the back of the 28, has not managed to get by him yet. Now has pressure from 24, I guess is making his way around the 24. Here comes Seth Knoll in the Solar Flare Racing number 1 to try to fill that outside gap. We're seeing a bit of this freight train effect where, you know, the outside lane opens up and the next car follows through. But back down to pit lane with Eric.
I want to know how much an Iranian...
$8.83.
Oh, you did it earlier? Okay.
Yeah, we did it earlier.
I wanted to get you guys' attention toward the 56 of Jake Matheson here. So he just used the top line to close the gap to the 7 car, and then now has probably gotten inside of James Scioli as James Scioli has moved to the top side of the racetrack now. This battle just started, and now they're going to swap it back and forth as we ride in sim with Jake Matheson. Listen to the comments by Lucky Duck Motorsports and James Scioli.
Stuck him. Yeah. I can't tell if the top works or not. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
I tried getting a run with it to get around someone, I just can't make it work.
So Douglas Newbigging said he could not make it work, but Jake Matheson has, and a comment that I did not catch under the recording is James Scioli said he thinks it may help cool down the tires if you buzz them by running up there. So nonetheless, Jake Matheson used it to his advantage, got the run, got the pass done, and he's gone back to using not the bottom lane to try to make some ground. As James Scioli pokes inside, we go back toward the back. Tyler Nichols and Casey Licata's going at it here.
Yeah, it's something interesting that you bring up about the tires cooling off, or maybe the tires warming up in certain scenarios. Remember, we're not that deep in to iRacing's Oval Refresh, and we haven't, I don't think, had a short track race since. So we don't really know how it was going to affect this track in particular. We're learning tonight on the fly.
There's definitely a lot of things to learn here as we look further back at orders deep down in the field. Well, it's been relatively calm up near the front. A little bit more aggressive here near the back of the field. Shackelford in the middle of all this with David Weiser, Vincent Cortez. And also there is Bryce Senizak leading this little group. Trying to make up for a little bit of a half spin early after some contact with Jacob Bell. Back up to 18th for the 09.
Almost at a starting spot of 17th there for the 09 to Senizak. Entering the ninth, points outside the top 12. Looking in, and that top 12 need to be inside in order to qualify for the playoffs. So Senizak trying to do that on points, although a win would be much easier. Oh, and there in front of him, you saw the 71 of Douglas Newby almost lose it to the
sideways.
infield. Oh, and he's still sideways.
Saves it.
Up, wait.
Gonna get split 3 wide here on corner exit, just desperately trying to keep the thing
Oh,
straight.
Shackelford! Oh my gosh, that was going to door him.
Well, you have to hold your breath with these things. You can be wrecking for almost an entire lap before you spin it.
Cedric Hunter and Michael Curran, this is for 8th place. And Cameron Hearn has slipped very quickly back to 13th, so he's going the wrong direction. He's about a second off of his best lap of the race. Jake Nichols and Connor Horn, they're about 5 to 6 tenths off their best of the race. So we are seeing some tire wear, but it is varying a bunch between 1st and 15th or so.
Yeah, I think Hearn might have pushed a little bit too hard early on. We're seeing him drop back to let his teammate Michael Curran on by. He's been dropping back ever since. And speaking of Michael Curran, he's trying to hold off Cedric Hunter. And Cedric Hunter, one of those drivers, he's gotten closer and closer to that playoff cutoff. He's currently 11th in points, losing 2 spots last week at Darlington. So he's probably starting to feel the heat as he's trying to get past Michael Curran. You can see Seth Knoll and Travis Beckner up ahead, though. They're battling it out for 6th place between them themselves.
Knoll to the inside of Beckner, former teammates just a season ago, and now Knoll's going to clear Beckner coming off turn 4. Beckner going to have a dive to the inside with a strong run going into turn 1. This is the battle for 6th on the racetrack, and Knoll going to send it in on the outside and clear Beckner in the middle of turn 2.
Did you hear the shift that Beckner did?
I did not.
He last lap around here. Let's get another. Let's listen to this. Right there, went to a different gear, and then downshifted again into turn 1. So using the tools at your disposal. You know, the gearbox is one of those things. Those 4th and 5th ratios might be awful close, but it does give you an advantage if you could figure out how to manipulate that gearbox and give yourself the slightest bit more push or pull. James Scioli hasn't done anything other than fall back a spot, but Jake Matheson is moving forward now, looking to the outside middle here on Blaze McKinney for 3rd.
He's been trying on this 87 for a couple laps. He almost got by in turns 1 and 2 a lap or 2 ago, but just wasn't able to get by. Gonna make a big dive to that outside. We typically seen that outside working a little bit better than some dives to the inside. As Matson's trying to get over, and you see McKinney throwing the block here. Matson just trying to find some sort of way to by. It's allowing not only the 7 of Skylight to catch up, but also the 1 of Seth Knoll. And Seth Knoll, too, he's been on a really good chart. He's been working up through the order. He got past Curran, Cedric Hunter, and Travis Beckner fairly quickly. As here comes the 56, big dive to the inside. He'll do a slide job ahead of the 87, but the 87 of McKinney here comes back on the exit, side by side at the line.
Good battle going on in the front stretch here as they just passed the pit lane where Eric Weiland currently resides at. Eric, what you got for us?
Hey guys, we're not too far away from thinking pit stops, so if you wanted to 2-stop this race, you would have pitted within the last 5 laps. So I think that kind of got thrown out the window by the early yellows. So I'm expecting most of the people to split the race in half, which if you split it in half, you're going 83, call it 84 laps per stint. Now, someone has stopped and is coming forward on tires. The name of that driver is the 33, David Weishart, who's worked his way up to the 18th spot since the restart, where he started way in the back. But he's on freshies. He's coming forward. I just don't know if he has enough time to use it up, because he is still going to need to make another stop just like the rest of the field. Regardless, he's on the attack and maybe more comfortable in being on the attack as he makes a pass for 17th right there past Cameron Hearn.
Yeah, the 4 is continuing to slide backwards at almost an alarming rate. What was 12th moved up some, and then has dropped now like a stone down to 18th, Finian. So
yeah,
maybe
I almost wonder if he's got some additional problem, because it's almost it's completely alarming, because He was pushing a little bit, but I don't think that hard to the point where he's dropping now almost outside the top 20 at the rate he's going back at. So it's really surprising. If this continues, he's going to have to keep out there a little bit longer and going to drop even more spots.
His lap times are 5 to 7 tenths slower than the guys he's running around. So I don't know. Maybe he used up too much too early. As we see a battle for second shaping up here. Kyle, between Connor Horn and Jake Matheson.
Matheson is just putting this car wherever it needs to go. He's not shy about going top, going bottom, straightening out the corners, doing whatever he needs to do to get around the drivers that he's next to. He's going to make this look easy. Connor seems pretty much a slave to the line that he's currently running, where Jake is able to put that car anywhere and around the outside through 1 and 2, and should be able to complete this pass down the backstretch unless Connor throws it into 3.
I think he's going to try to fight for it, but not too much. He's going to just keep on that line on the inside, and I think 56 of Matheson, as soon as he gets back on the gas here, is going to get a decent run off for not quite enough to clear. Horn's still trying to put up a fight, but it almost seems like a losing battle at this rate.
2.5 seconds back from race leader Jake Nichols. You see this battle for second now subsiding as Matheson clears Horn off of 2. Meanwhile, in the 3 behind him, Blaze McKinney, James Skylerly, bumper to bumper. 7 looking low. Going to give a little tap to the 87 of McKinney. Going to hold on to that spot. Here comes the 1 of Noel closing in, and the 7 to the inside going into turn 1.
That'll wake you up. A bit of a boot to the rear bumper there in 3 and 4. And Connor Horn has slipped right into the midst of this as well.
Oh, Skylerly going to slip out of turn 2. Going to have to fall back in line, try over again. And yeah, that's allowed the 1 Seth Cole to basically catch up, and now we got a 4-way battle essentially for 3rd place.
Separated by 8 car lengths of a second, 3rd through 6th on the racetrack. On board with 7 of Skylerly, going to go middle and then work his way down, get a nice run. Oh, but Wiggles right there, going to have to tuck back in line as Matheson's clear of this and is now trying to set sail on the 73 of Jake Nichols. Skylerly to the inside, McKinney looking to get the run off of 4. Going to have the advantage going into 1.
Caution.
And it is Justin Bondurant and Ed Robertson on the back straightaway. And the 06 of Spencer Burns is also in the fence. 3rd yellow of the night, lap 70. Let us see what caused this 3rd yellow. It's going to be with the 11, I think, is going to be the primary party here. He and the 71 of Newbigging. And then he hooks the apron and spins out. Robertson can't miss him. And then the 06 of Burns.
Oh, he actually avoided it. Wow. Oh, clear the initial incident.
Yeah. I think Bondurant here, does he just get a little bit used up on the bottom here, guys, by the 71 turning down? Not really. They just kind of came together and then hooked the apron and turned it like a top.
Yeah, I was kind of amazed. I almost thought he shifted down a gear while in there to just snap the car around, but I guess just got it up settled in such a way that around she went. Ed Robinson going in nowhere for him to go.
Did everything he could do.
Yeah, I mean, at least it was a relatively light impact.
Eric Wineland.
Pit road is open and it is busy, guys. Here they come, the leaders into their stalls. Jake Nichols has gone long. He had to reverse in his stall. That's going to cost him potentially the lead. Jake Matheson was on his rear bumper the entire time down the pit lane. We'll watch the exit here for the 73 as you see 4 tires and fuel for everybody.
And there goes
McKinney away before Nichols.
2. Ooh.
So McKinney gets away before Nichols, but Nichols is able to beat Skylerly, Noel, and Connor Horn, but costly mistake there from the 73.
Oh no, did Blaze McKinney? I think he sped.
Oh man. Yep.
Yes, he has picked up a black. So not a good move for the 87. The 50 has cycled through to the lead. He's doing this to get a lap lead. He will then come down and take his tires. He does this regularly. So Jake Matheson is going to be the leader over Jake Nichols. I do have audio from Justin Bondurant. Mistaken identity here. He has picked up the wrong car number as the fault for this on his end. Listen in.
77.
Oh, did he get you?
He just pinched me off.
Oh.
Unfortunately, he has misidentified. It was not Jacob Bell on the 77 that pinched him. It was the 71 at Douglas Newbigging. Surprisingly, and this is me saying this, my opinion here, is they have given this incident to Justin Bondurant despite getting kind of pinched down by Douglas Newbigging in the 71. I'm surprised it was not called a racing incident or even maybe on the 71. Regardless, that is Justin Bondurant's second cause of incident tonight, and he will have to serve a drive-through, which is never a fun penalty to serve nonetheless. Big news is at the front there, Jake Matheson to the lead over Jake Nichols.
Yeah, as far as that being the second incident, probably would have given him the benefit of the doubt there, given the 71 was pretty tight to the outside. But regardless, third yellow of the night, it's going to reshuffle the deck here just a bit. Race fans, head over to simwrapmarket.com for custom iRacing paint scheme templates that are simple and easy to use, so it keeps you more focused on the racetrack. We'll come back to the restart here in a couple of laps time. This race is clipping along at a pretty good pace at the moment, guys, but any moment we could trip and fall into this, the restart collisions that we saw kind of mid-race at Darlington. But I had a pretty good run there. Only one car is retired. That was Mason Kane about 54 laps ago. As we get the one to green, Matheson chooses the inside lane for the restart. That'll put Scioli behind him, Finney.
Yeah, here's this little reshuffle is going to put everyone in. I see him leave for Blaze McKinney, though. The speeding going to put him all the way back in 25th, and he didn't speed by a little bit. It's about by a lot of bit. Pit road speed is 40 miles an hour in pit lane. He went to 47 miles an hour, I think, just trying to beat Jake Nichols out of pit lane.
Yeah, anytime you get an opportunity like that where it's like, oh, Jake Nichols messed up on pit road. What? I give you
go.
Oh, yeah, and unfortunately it doesn't work out for Blaze McKinney, but it's the Jake and Jake show in the front row.
Jake and Jake. Jake and James, top three here at Richmond Raceway. Lap 76 back underway. The 56 fires off as the sunset falls here on the speedway. And off into turn one, chaos ensues. We're too wide, about 15 rows deep now. Side by side at the exit two. Here comes Scioli for P2.
Yeah, really, Scioli's been struggling on the exits on that inside lane. He just gets pinched off, and that's where the drivers on the outside can try to take advantage, though he's looking a little bit stronger as they say that a bit of a slip-up. 73 is going to be clear. Here comes Seth Knoll looking to the outside.
Spin in the back coming off turn 4. Couldn't tell what car number it was. They went into the grass.
Look at that one
landscaping
a little later as we go back down into turn 3. Connor Horn make his way back by Seth Knoll here. The one on the outside of the 28 is going to fill the gap up here as well. And another car sliding. Ben Pierce across the racetrack. Oh, and caution.
And narrowly avoided a collision there.
Yeah. We'll get back rolling. So while we have the caution, let's go back and see what happened to Shane Wolf.
Wonder if he had some help, or if he just got loose with the colder tires on this restart.
Yeah, he was just all on his own. The next lap around is when Ben Pierce, probably in a very similar way, almost identical, but this time corrected back to the right. And ended up avoiding getting hit, but that could have been a lot worse than it was.
Yeah, I heard Spencer Burns in the radio just go, whoo, as he nearly got by there at the end.
So fourth caution of the night now at lap 79. And given that everyone just came to pit lane, don't think you're going to see anybody return back to pit road at this stage, but going to get reset and go again this time. I think the order hasn't really changed all that much up front, Eric Wiley.
Ben Pierce dipped his tires in some Rick's hot sauce, guys. He said, just like everyone else on the restart, he lit them up. And now, to the amazement of himself, when I was just chatting with him, no incident points. So he still has a 0x incident bonus point that he could score tonight because he did not get an incident point for the yellow. And thus, race control also didn't know who brought the yellow out until they asked. So, but I think Hunter has some more on Rick's hot sauce.
Does he?
If he didn't run to the bathroom.
Oh, I got it. Race fans, be sure to check out rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauces made locally in South Florida. Try the Loxahatchee Classic, Golden Garlic, Palm Beach Pineapple, or South Beach Heat. Follow the Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series and see which driver will take home the $100 prize as the highest finishing rookie in the point standings. Was it the music that made you go that way, Eric?
Me?
Yeah.
I just thought of it on a whim. I figured I'd lay
that
one
time.
up for.
Yeah.
I'd lay one up for you guys to segue into it, and well, South Beach heat. We could use some of that up here because it's
Yeah, what the heck?
single digit or even colder here in Pennsylvania.
It was -8 degrees on Sunday morning here in Chicago, and it was a wind chill of below -30 degrees Fahrenheit. I haven't seen it that cold here in a couple of years. It's so cold, in fact, that my boss has given us the option to not come in tomorrow because it's so cold, which I am going to take advantage of. So, you know, we'll be working, but it is cold here in Chicago, and I'm sure it's across most of the eastern seaboard.
No, it's a lot warmer by me. I mean, it's not that much warmer. It's in the 30s here. It's cold, but it's not Chicago cold, apparently. My cousin sent me a photo of her metal window frame, and there was ice on the inside of her window.
Not good. It's like physically cold in this room. I've got 2 gaming computers running. Typically, it's pretty warm in here, but it's been cold enough. I haven't adjusted my heat because my gas bill was like $29 last month, and I intend to keep it that way. But it's I closed the blinds and everything to try to keep the heat in. It is definitely frigid outside. It's so cold. But here's a fun fact while we're waiting for the restart here. I have something dead under the hood of my car. It's almost certainly a rat because in Chicago you park in the alleyways. The alleyways have garbage cans, and the garbage cans have rats. So there's probably a dead rat under my hood. I knew it's there, but I can't open my hood right now because it's literally frozen shut. I tried.
I hope that does not come in through your AC.
No, it doesn't.
To give you
but I wanted to get it out when it was frozen solid, so I waited for it to get cold, so I would get it out as like a one frozen rat block. And now I can't get the hood open. So.
Oh my.
One frozen rat block.
It's crazy. It may not sound crazy cold. It's 19 degrees here in Pennsylvania.
That's balmy.
Where I live. The wind chill's -13, so it's a huge swing.
That's actually.
And we're expecting
your wind chill's
some
colder
2 to
than
4
mine.
inches. Yeah, we're expecting 2 to 4 inches of snow here tonight. So
no snow, just misery here in Chicago. Coming to the restart, lap 84, back underway at Richmond, and Jake Matheson fires off and away. Nice, good restart for him and for Jake Nichols, who drops into second.
Yeah, maybe for Seth Knoll here, if he can still hang around the outside of that 7, that's going to be a key thing for him to try to get 3rd place as to come out of turn 2. It's not going to be enough for Skylar to clear. Seth Knoll still on that outside.
Not going to have enough, or going to have to try. He's actually getting a bit of an advantage there on the exit of turn 4. There's the one of Knoll, and oh my goodness, yeah, in the back they're almost spinning out. Ed Robertson having to back off.
It was a scary moment there. Managed to save it, but almost a crash. Down into 3. Here comes Knoll to the outside of Scioli, and Connor Horn would like to get back into the mix there. He was running as high as 2nd in the earlier green flag run. Car in the dirt. That's Tyler Nichols down there on the front straightaway.
Man, there's a lot of people that really feel that the grass needs to be mowed a lot more here in Richmond. A lot of people have made that move down onto the front straightaway grass because just how loose it is and how slippery it is off of turn 4. And still battle hard near up at the front of the field. Connor Horn, like you mentioned, is trying to get up there as much as he can now that Jake Nichols is held up.
Well, single file now between he and the one of Seth Knoll. Actually going to try to look to the inside. A little further back, though, Douglas Newbigging in the 71 has had a handful today. And he just smacked the wall, go figure, right on cue. There is the 22 of the Leo looking to the inside, as mentioned, is battling the coronavirus in the middle of this race. So having his MJ flu game, if you remember from back in the 90s with the Chicago Bulls. But up front for the lead, the Jake and Jake show continuing. Matheson on the outside, Nichols trying to make it work on the inside.
Yeah, Matheson on fierce defense right now as they rocket off into turn 3. Ran up a bit higher on the racetrack to force Nichols to the bottom, but Matheson unwavering so far out front here as we close in on lap number 90. Just clicking away green flag laps, and if this race goes green, it's going to be over quicker than you think. With under 24-second laps, things go by pretty quick here at Richmond. Well, things are turning.
I think things happen quick. You see wrecks end up happening very quickly in the background with the way some of these guys are driving at. Looking further on back, Skylar Shackelford battling it out with Jared Grandpal for 13th place amongst them, and David Weisart still trying to make some progress forward. He's going to make a dive to the inside of number 5 of Grant. He'll get up to 14th place.
Grant trying to move up closer towards the top 10. Not going to be enough for now. Across the halfway point of this race at Richmond, Weisart making a steady climb up towards the top 10. As mentioned previously, he won the Pro Series race last Thursday at Darlington, so carrying a little bit of momentum. And 3 wide into the turn, Newbigging all the way on the bottom. McKinney right there on that second groove, just in front of Vincent Cortez, almost 3 wide.
McKinney would like to make this process pretty quick. He was fast enough to be top 5 earlier in this race, and now mired outside of the top 15. Newbegin pushes up there out of turn 4, almost collects him. McKinney slicing and dicing, looking like Blaze McQueen down there, cutting through the field. And Cortez disappears for a moment and lands the airplane back on the runway right before they head on the backstretch.
He'll stay ahead of the 87, but McKinney just trying to make up some progress again. It's amazing how big. This is probably, I would argue, one of the worst places to have a speeding penalty because it just takes so long to get back up there, and especially with stop starting. He's only up to 19th after running in the top 3 for most of the day.
Oh my gosh, that was very close. Vincent Cortez almost gone to the back of car in front of them, Don Valia, but a little further up the road inside the top 5. Battle still going on for 4th. Horn on the inside. Wano Knoll on the outside, trying to follow the tire tracks of James Scioli. But behind those two, you got the 28 of Beckner trying to close in and throw his nose into the mix.
Yeah, Connor trying to show the strength here after winning last week at Darlington. Loses a couple spots here on the restarts and pit sequence, but trying to wrestle them back away. But getting them on the racetrack's a lot harder than on the pit lane, and he's finding that out now. And if he spends too much more time behind this one, Travis Beckner is right here, ready to pounce on him as he's going to try to do on the outside.
Yeah, it was for Connor Horn at this very track last season that I ended up losing a chance at trying to go for a championship in his rookie season, trying to make up for that. But he's looking a lot stronger this season. 2 wins his name, trying to see if he can make it 3 here tonight. But he's still struggling to get past the one of Seth Nolan. Now Travis Beckner trying to gang up on him on the outside to follow that one.
Beckner is top 6 under a blanket right now, all within a second of each other, as 7th place Michael Curran's trying to close in on the mix, but 4th is still going on. Top 3 are nose to tail with each other, and Beckner's going to try and get around the 42 of Horn on the outside. Will Knoll trying to set sail into turn 1.
Jim Shane Wolf had an issue last time around, but keeps rolling, about 4 seconds off pace. I imagine it was a slip and slide, just as we've seen most of the evening. And Connor's trapped down here on the bottom now. He'd like to move forward, but he's equally moving forward as far as he's falling backwards, which effectively right now is nowhere. He's just kind of stuck. But whose tires are going to wear out sooner? Probably on the bottom.
Yeah, I was going to say he is stationary at the moment. We've typically been seeing guys get freight trained on the outside, but he's been holding it steady here for better or for worse. And like you mentioned, definitely think it's going to hurt him in the long run. You know, we mentioned Tyler is not huge here with these cars, but being stuck in the inside lane, he's probably going to lose out his competitors here. He can have a little bit easier time on their tires running that outside.
Trying to keep the 42 at bay, and Horn's going to send it into the turn. The one's going to back off, and here comes the crossover from Seth Knoll. So he's going to clear the 42 of Horn for 4th, and contact made. Beckner sideways down the backstretch as they're duking it out for 5th.
I almost wonder if he had done that dive intentionally knowing he was going to lose a spot just so he could basically trade spots with the 28 and have the outside lane. Because effectively, now he's out of the danger zone where the overlap on the 28 exists. And he still doesn't have the spot on Knoll, but you know, Connor's smart enough to try moves like that where you're not going to gain anything, but you're going to get yourself out of a position to lose a spot. I don't think he meant to drive into the 28 there, and that's certainly not a bear I'd like to pick a bone with, but we'll see how this transpires. Heard a car in the wall of the front stretch, but that's a common sound around here.
Yeah, I think it was definitely smart for Connor just to stop the bleeding and just kind of solidify himself. Otherwise, he puts himself up and getting passed by not only Beckner, but maybe Curran and Cedric Hunter in behind as well. So he's going to hold station in 5th. Trying to see if he can find some sort of way around Seth Knoll. But yeah, all the leaders, the entire top 6, 7 cars, all nose to tail following each other. And Jake Nichols, too, has not been able to find a way around Jake Matson. He's been running in 2nd. I wonder if he's just kind of hoping to run this out. Maybe run the 56 out and then make his move later on in the run.
Valio slow on the back straightaway. See what happened to him.
There's some help here from the 87.
Hold that thought. We got a battle for the lead transpiring. Nichols had significant overlap and had the nose out ahead for a moment, but now Scioli takes a look to the outside.
Yeah, Nichols had a great run off of turn 4 last time by. He used that momentum to make a move, but it couldn't stick. And as mentioned, Scioli now breathing down the neck of the 73. For Scioli, he's been losing quite a bit for this race. I don't think we've really seen him make a whole lot of overtakes on the track. But now looks like he's found a second lease on life. He's looking aggressive here in the second half of this race.
Had a moment there where it looked like he was going to be able to overtake for the lead, but instead backs off, holds his line in second, and single file for a majority of the drivers throughout the racetrack. And there's a little, that was almost contact between Beckner and Horn in the middle of 1 and 2.
Yeah, I just, the driver that has the longest memory, probably that 28. But both these drivers, Connor and Travis, have a history of being, talented for sure, but also controversial at times. And Cameron Hearn's got in trouble in the 4 on the front straightaway.
A little bit of a tap to the back of the 28. He's still trying to look around the 42, taking a look at what happened. This is Cameron Hearn. We're looking at the number 4. Did he get loose off turn 4? Indeed, he did.
Yep, not much more to that one. And here's Beckner down to the inside of the 42.
So he's going to door him a little bit in the exit of 2. Connor Organ trying to get that run off the corner. He'll secure it ahead of the 28. So for Beckner, an unsuccessful dive. He's going to have to try again.
Used to have a moment earlier in the race down the backstretch where they made contact. Beckner was sideways and went about 3 lanes below the main surface of the racetrack. Trying to keep cool, calm, and collected is the 42 of Horn and the 28 of Beckner as they work their way down the backstretch. A little moment there for Beckner, but back down to pit road. Eric Lyman with an update.
Hey guys, here's radio from Travis Beckner in the moment that you guys documented just a couple laps ago.
Like, I don't understand that. Like, not clear. Idiot.
So the 28 car not happy from that incident. On top of that, you guys just documented Cameron Hearn having a moment. Here is radio from Physicus Motorsports.
I really regret running this high brake bias. Like, I am so fast for 15 laps, and then I'm pushing like a dump truck after that. Might take 2 tires. Are you taking 2, Tom?
It depends on what we're doing. No, I'm taking 4 if we get here.
Oh my gosh, I'm taking 2.
I'm just trying to relax, but like...
I can't relax.
So Cameron not feeling the greatest in that 4 car. Strategy interesting there, guys. And I would not be surprised to see some people open up the book and maybe try 2 tires to get a little more rotation. But also at that same token, you do wear the tires so much here. Fast laps for 22 flats to a 22.2. And right now these guys are already down to a 22.8 as their normal running lap time here. So just call it 30 hard laps on the tires because we've had a couple yellows mixed in here. 30 hard laps on the tires and already almost a second of fall off. So I wouldn't be opposed to a 2-tire call to make the car rotate more, Kyle, but it'd be a risky move now that they got this many laps on those tires.
You know the tires are hard when a second of fall off's a lot. That's actually the most we've had all season long. But it's still not that much in the grand scheme of things in comparison to what we're going to see here on Thursday, most likely. But regardless, yeah, 41 laps into this run, tires are going to be a pretty big advantage. You're going to take whatever side gets you the rotation, I think. But maybe rotation's not what they're looking for. We've had over-rotation be the problem tonight, so maybe you'll take some just to steady the car and allow you to get more in the throttle on corner exit. That'd be what I would be searching for, is for drive off, not necessarily rotation. So we'll see what drivers do here, as Scioli was on the offensive but now has his mirrors full as Seth Nolan, the number 1.
Yeah, he's been taking this really peculiar line, just running on the outside. Even Matson, you see him taking it. I'm not sure if that's on purpose or not. Trying to defend, and it looks like he may be just trying to be experimenting. I think 7 also just trying to experiment, look for a grip here in this later point of the run as the tires start to wear off. And I also was wondering too, was that Travis Beckner radio in reference to Connor Horn? Is that who he was annoyed with?
I think so. Because remember when Connor took the big swipe and they made contact on the back straightaway? Well.
Oh, and there goes the dive. So it's far from over.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Well, short track, short tempers. This is the place to do it if
the
you're going to have a run with someone.
I love watching Connor in the heat of it because he gets that tongue out. Here he goes on the back of the 28.
Look out, bump. Oh, the 28 is loose. He's spinning. There he goes. And actually help him save it in a way.
Oh, boy.
I just got Beckner all out of shape, and he's going to lose multiple spots from that. I would assume he is not happy on the radio.
Well, you just see him key up the mic. Oh, I love watching
Eric
Zoom.
Weiland tried to catch the radio, hopefully caught it.
This is why I love Zoom, is because you get to see the heat of the moment stuff here. There's a push. And it's all it takes, the slightest bit of contact. He helped them almost go around there, but yeah, these two they have not been friendly in the past, and I don't really anticipate that being all warm and fuzzy. It is short track racing.
Yeah, I mean, Robin's racing.
And here comes Nichols.
Whoa. Might see some more rubbing here in a little bit. Typically we've seen Nichols not the 1-2 rub fenders, but we'll see how aggressive he's willing to get. Jake Matheson, of course, 3 wins to Nichols 1, so I feel like Nichols may feel that, if anything, Matheson doesn't really have much to lose compared to him.
Urban is indeed racing as they are continuing down the front stretch and into turn 1 in front of Eric Weiland, which, as a fellow Pennsylvanian, I think you and I are both rubbing our hands a little bit because it is cold up north.
If I had another monitor, I'd put the AKU log on so I can try to feel a little warmer. But yeah, I don't have radio from Travis Beckner, surprisingly, in that incident. I have radio from the guy in your picture there, the 42 of Connor Horn, listening.
Full throttle? I mean, he's slamming me. I don't know why.
So the extra background noise there. Thank you to Skylar Shackelford and his speakers. Connor, so the incident that Connor, we saw bump Travis and help him get a little loose there, was in response to the fact that Connor got moved by Travis, and actually Travis gave him bumps for like 2 laps prior to that, a couple different corners. So Connor was not too happy with what happened and decided to repay the favor just a little more over the top, and Travis held on to the race car. So I don't know if the first radio that I played earlier, I heard you guys ask a question. I don't know if that's in response to Connor Horn. It was the incident you guys talked about. I actually didn't see it. I was jumping radio channel to radio channel trying to catch. So I don't know if he was already hot under the collar with Connor before.
Yeah,
but nonetheless.
That was from, at least I think, it's when Connor threw the dive on, was it Knoll? I think it was Knoll. Threw the dive on Knoll just to clear him, and then when he slid back around, he basically had to park the bus at the exit of turn 2, and that caused the 28 and him to kind of come together and bounce off each other. Then the 28 retaliated on the 42 for a couple laps. Connor got tired and then retaliated back. So if you're keeping score, I think it's Connor 2, Beckner 1, at least in Beckner's mind.
I am waiting to the Beckner get to the back of the 42 because I just want to see what happens as a result. I'm like a scientist, just want to see the result of the experiment.
Yeah, do you in the first incident with the slide job gone wrong, as you're describing it as, oh, Dom DeLeo just caught the wall in front of Travis Beckner.
If I'm Travis Beckner, I mean, Connor Horn drove over my mailbox too. Like, you're going to find every excuse you can.
Beckner just overdrove turn 1. I think he was fighting with Matthew Bell, and I think he's going to lose a spot to the 9.
Yes.
9 actually gave him a bump out of turn 4. So Beckner is not making friends out there.
And I'll tell you who's earning their pay tonight. Dawson Miller, spotting and T-moning for Travis Beckner, and Dawson's gonna do his best to keep his driver calm. But Travis is young, so I can also understand getting hot under the collar as you see the intensity on his face right there.
Yeah, usually he's smiling. He looks very angry.
I think this one is chalked up to, this one's gotten in his head, and this is a short track race, and he's waiting to see if he can find that 42 later in the race. Regardless, shout out Dawson Miller, the spotter. He's going to try to keep his driver calm, but I don't know how it'll play out. Meanwhile, Connor Horn under attack from Cedric Hunter.
Yeah, they're both losing spots now. Hunter is, they were running better when they were fighting each other, but then that kind of got out of bounds a little bit.
Sure did, and that face that Beckner made, that's my face when I show up at a party and there's no chicken parm. Same exact thing. I love chicken parm.
Chicken parm's common at parties in Pennsylvania?
Oh, absolutely. In our family, at least, we're Italian.
Oh, in your family, okay. I thought there was just like, you go to a rave and there's just chicken parm. Man, Pennsylvanians are weird. Where's the Solo Cups? Right next to the chicken parm. Sorry. I think he's offended by that.
It's a good combination.
I don't doubt it. I'm a chicken parm guy too. I wouldn't. It's not a party food. This is.
Well, our family's Italian, and we like to go all out.
Yeah, I suppose so. Shackelford
Taking
here.
farm aside, Travis Beckner is in a tight battle with Kyle Shackelford and David Weishart. Continuing to drop some spots.
And all the while, laps are clicking away really fast, guys. 13 minutes to go if we stay green. That's the big if. So what's left on the... Oh man, this is getting dicey. What's left on the agenda here in the next 35 laps or so?
I'm just waiting to see if Beckner gets back to Connor Horn. That's the one thing I want to see for the rest of this race. Although Connor Horn's still holding his own, he's still battling with Cedric Hunter up the road. They're battling out for 7th place, while Beckner's just trying to see if he can stay in 11th. Kyle Shackelford not making any progress to his inside, and then right up ahead of them, Bryce Senezak, Matthew Bell, they're duking out for 9th.
Where are we next week?
Homestead, Miami.
Oh, gosh, you can really crash cars there.
I mean, the thing is, really, at this point in the season, between at least Beckner and Horn, it doesn't necessarily matter where they finish because they're pretty essentially locked in to the playoffs, pending they do something egregious.
Well, you know, that would never happen, of course.
I don't want to take I don't want to take away the battle going on the track, but still right there in that 10th spot, actually looking at Matthew Bell for 9th as 09 and Senezak, and had a little moment earlier on in the race, was running around 17th, but all the way down to, I believe the lowest he was 25th, has somehow managed to climb his way inside the top 10 after a very disappointing run at Darlington last week. So nice climb back for the 09 and Senezak, looking for that 9th spot, as we're joined once again by Eric Weiland with an update on pit road.
I was going to say the yellow was brewing with Skylar Shackelford. Now Travis just lost a ton of time. So now I'm curious to figure out what the heck's up with the 28, because he slowed down a lot this past lap.
I think at least the last lap around, it looked like he had intentionally just kind of parked the bus because he was kind of trapped in a bad spot here. You see him kind of let everyone go there. I think he was just kind of
He's losing another spot.
Oh, gets a tap from Garrett Grant off of turn 2, almost a wreck there.
I expected the wreck to come from the 28 and the 88 and with how hard they were racing, but Travis was half a second off pace there that last lap. We'll see what he is this time around. He runs a 49. Fastest car on track actually was the driver in front of him, Vincent Cortez, at a 23 flat. So I'm not sure what's up with the 28, but not
I think
a good. I don't think he's getting back to Connor Horn like some of you guys in here wanted.
I mean, well, he doesn't have to get up back to him. He can just kind of wait around as he doors the 5 of Garrett Grant. They're starting to rub fenders here off of turn 4.
That was a big hit, actually.
Beckner not out there making friends, but like I was saying, he doesn't have to catch up to the 42. He can kind of wait around and do the old Jeff Gordon strat. Wait for his prey to come
so
back
much.
around.
His wheel moves so much on his desk. I don't know how he races like that either, but
He could take that route, Finian, but he might get the Sean Petchen treatment, which he intentionally wrecked at Darlington last week and is suspended for this upcoming week. So I'm not sure if he wants to take that route and miss it.
I mean, he can afford to be suspended for a week because he's got enough points. Oh, he's got the win. Not even enough points.
I had a question for Eric while you're here. We've got 27 laps to go. We were only 10 minutes out from a checker. We've been so distracted by this chaos that we haven't really talked about what the tail end of this race holds, Eric. So what's left on the agenda? Are we good to the end here? We're just going to let Matheson run away with this? Will we wait for a car into the back?
So the tires have bolted on 69 laps ago. Very nice for these guys. So no more tires, no more fuel. It's a straight dogfight to the finish on old tires. But, Kyle, and it's a very big but, that yellow flag. If they get that yellow flag, you want tires 100%. I don't know if you want to play the 2-tire strat like we heard Cameron Hearn talking with Don DeLeo about a little bit earlier. That one's pretty risky, but hey, maybe you need to risk it to make yourself in good on points or get that win into the playoffs. More contact between the 5 and 28 while we watch the battle here for 8th place between Bryce Senezak and Connor Horn. But yeah, Kyle, no more pit stops unless there's another yellow. And it's going to be interesting to see what strategy comes through.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I almost have trouble saying if, but when. You know, we thought that this race was going to go one way when we had those yellows early. It did not go that way. We've had long green flag runs tonight. And it's totally possible we could finish it out that way, in which case Jake Matheson would be in a very good spot to pick up another victory on the season. Jake Nichols would come up short tonight. James Scioli still lingering, Seth Knowles lingering, Michael Curran's running
3 wide.
Boy. Yeah, this
Matthew Bell dive to the inside shack for a Connor Horn. Caution out. James Scioli around on the back straightaway.
Oh my
that was
goodness.
not on
that
the bingo card.
Huge.
Holy cow. What?
No, that is huge indeed. And I was just about to say, if they get a caution before 20 to go, we might see some guys come down pit road, maybe see some take fresh tires and oh wow.
Just had to slow up a bit on exit, got loose, and then just got tapped from the one from behind. I did not have that on the Richmond bingo card tonight. You see the wiggle and the wobble, and around he went.
Was not expecting to wreck this high up the order. I was definitely expecting it, past these guys from 6th, 7th on back. But
okay, now
Galley getting turned and down the order. Well, pit road, I guess, get those fresh tires on. Here comes everyone on down. And now is really when you want to make sure you don't make a mistake on pit lanes.
Might see some guys stay out here that are on the lead lap. Not sure if Ben Pierce or Spencer Burns are on the lead lap, but a lot of guys coming in to pit, Kyle.
Yeah. So
pretty much everyone.
This is going to get interesting on this restart. We're going to have under 20 laps to go. Now we can.
Anyone's going to take 2.
If I'm Travis Beckner, I take 2. I want the track position and I want control of this race.
If he takes 2, he might get back up with Connor Horn.
That's my point. But this is the point now where you better prepare yourself for 20 laps of yellow.
Here we go.
As
Seth Knoll took 2 tires.
Jacob Bell took 2. No, he rolled through.
He did nothing. Yeah, he rolled through. Everyone else, it looks like, has taken 4.
No, Scioli took 2. Garrett Grant took 2. Everybody else took 4.
Oh, did Michael Curran take 2?
He did not have 14 seconds on his stop.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Eric.
So I got Noel on 2.
Yep.
And we mentioned Grant on 2, right?
Yep.
And
James.
Scioli.
And the 7 just lost all of his track position, which is why he's making that play as well. Here's radio from the Lucky Duck Motorsports crew. Douglas Newbigging just happened to be talking about it.
Thank the Lord.
Got a little Louie.
We didn't cause the wreck. Hey. Hey, you know what? I called. It's going to be heard on the radio. I said there was going to be a caution coming out, and 5 seconds later, a caution came out. So, I mean, did I cause it physically? No. Mentally, yes. I got wizard powers, baby.
So Douglas Newbigging timed that one pretty good. It also happened to be his teammate, and I just nonchalantly said, "You realize how sus this sounds, bro?" But then James brought up a good point. Why in the heck would he intentionally spin from?
I mean, hey, sometimes people's arms are itchy. Right?
I was going to say, if that was wizard power, I think we all have degrees at Hogwarts this season. What race was it that I actually called the yellow in the moment that it happened?
Oh, I forgot. I was watching it the other day.
Charlotte.
Yeah, it was Charlotte.
Yeah,
That was hilarious.
Right before the Christmas break.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that the Cup race? Was I up here for that?
I think you were. And, yeah, Professor Snape taught me personally, I think. You're a wizard.
20 laps,
Didn't necessarily
guys.
predict a caution that Talladega from a season ago, but I leaked the script early.
Yes. Just skipped ahead a paragraph. Alt tab. All right. I mean, this is the floodgates now, right? I mean, 20 laps to go at a short track with mad drivers. If we go green 5 laps, I'd be impressed. I think this is going to just turn out as survival of the fittest here, probably.
Here's a little bit of an update. I got Connor Horn starting in 11th and Travis Beckner in 14th. So only
Ooh, that's
in behind each other on the track. So
I hope you guys at home have made a bucket of popcorn because
yeah, go make it now. You'll have enough time.
Go make it now because I think you'll still see the finish of the race. You've got a yellow, and you know the saying, they breed yellows.
The best tackle on Monday Night Football might be in Richmond tonight. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. 18 laps to go from Richmond.
Oh, and a big dive from Connor Horn, trying to make it almost 3 wide into turn 1. He's got the back out. He doesn't go up 3 wide, but Garrett Grant, Cedric Hunter, Matthew Bell will into turn 1 and 2.
Very tight coming off turn 2 and down the back. Jake Nichols, Jake Matheson fighting for second as The one of Knoll continues to set sail with the lead, but tied 3-wide racing. Here comes Curran under the inside.
Duran wanted it, but couldn't get there. He'll have to settle for fourth for the time being. Okrasic, Scioli, Garrett Grant's middle 3-wide here. So is a couple of other cars as they cycle up onto the back straightaway here. For second, Matheson and Nichols side by side.
Yeah, sure. For Seth Noll, he's going to be hoping they battle it more. Jake Nichols gets way too hard into turn 3. He's going to tap the 56. They're wrecking the 56 and the 7. Caution out.
Wow.
The Jake and Jake show goes spitting into the grass with 16 to go, and that just changed everything, Kyle.
It sure did. Man.
Oh boy, two of the front runners going to be relegated to the back of the field.
That was not... What? Between Scioli, Matheson, and Nichols, this was not the bingo card that I had sorted out tonight. It started mid-corner here. The 73 tags the 56.
Yeah,
they're just
fighting,
save it, yeah.
Fighting for the same piece of real estate right there.
Oh, so many of these cars came so close to getting into it here.
And the 73 is going to take the blame for that.
Did Connor O'Kresick get it to the back of the 73?
Yeah, but he got hit by the 7.
He got punted from the 7.
Wow.
So,
So, is about how succinctly as you can put it.
That's the way to describe it, yeah.
I had to double check before I looked at it, so we could see a new winner tonight. Knoll, Curran, Okrasic, they have not won a race at all this season. Skylerly won at the Charlotte Roval, but is on 2 tires. But we'll see how this one plays out in the very end.
Laps led tonight. Seth Knowles got 7. Scioli's got 2. No one else in the top 10 has even led a single lap. Actually, make that no one in the top 20 other than those 2 has led a single lap.
Yeah, I was going to say, because everyone else is out 10. It's at 20 down the order, so
142 of 154 laps have been led by the 2 that just crashed. Eric Weiler.
Jake Nichols radio.
Put my brake bias down. I did it again. Sorry, I got to... I was trying to lower my brake bias as much as I could and it just kept locking. I was doing my best to keep off of you and shifting down, but got ran over after. That's probably on me, probably.
And indeed, race control has deemed it. I believe they did deem it on Jake Nichols as well. Yes, they did give him the EOL. But he also said he was getting a lot of help from behind too after the initial moment of contact with, and he just ran long in his box again. After the initial moment of contact with Jake Matheson. So Nichols just a little out of his element there. The rare mistake in the 73 car right there. Uncharacteristic, but nonetheless, it has hurt the Jake and Jake show. And as you documented, Hunter, this has opened it up for a lot of people looking at maybe a potential first win.
So 12 laps to go this time by, and we should get the 2 to green. So we will restart with 10 laps to go. And I had the 42 winning this race. He will restart 6th. Finian, who'd you have?
I'd rather not talk about.
I have the car that just got the EOL.
You guys are doing fantastic.
I had the Jake and Jake show.
Well, I'm going to actually get some points.
I had a double whammy in that yellow.
Hey, one of our cars is still up there. It just so happens to belong to me.
Who'd you pick?
The 7 of Skyler.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so you are winning.
Who also was a part of an incident and somehow still maintains a ton of track position after the 2-tire calls, guys, has seemed to work. At least has worked for Seth.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's still 10 laps left to go in this race. So.
I don't think that there's enough tire wear that in these short 2-3 lap sprints that it's going to matter. I want the track position. You know, these next-gen cars, the tires we put on them, they might as well be, you know, molten lava that's just solidified and put on a rim. They're just so rock solid that, you know, it takes 30, 40 laps to get an appreciable difference. You can have a 3/4 advantage and get stuck behind because you can't figure out a way around. So it's going to be a very interesting last 10 laps if it goes green. And if it doesn't, Seth Knoll, Michael Curran, Connor Okrasic, your top 3, those are the cars that you should be looking at to go to victory lane tonight.
Well, let's see what they got here. We'll see. This will be the final restart. I doubt.
Doubt it as well. Green flag, Seth Knoll fires up and away. He's gone. Second place, Connor Okresic wants it down into turn 1.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle. See who will take that second place spot. The 14 or the 24 current up high, trying to see if he can get a decent run off the corner. Will get a decent enough run, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. Okresic looking hard into turn 3. He's going to try to dive it in there to get clear, but can't. Here comes Curran back on the outside.
The last time Okresic was battling for the win in the area.
7 is Scioli, crashing on the front straightaway.
We got a big one piling up into turn 1.
Beckner takes a huge hit. Scioli's in it, and Sogak's in it. Crash with 9 laps to go.
It's a bad day to get picked by a commentator, isn't it?
It sure is.
Let's have a look at how this started. Oh, the 7 loose.
Oh, and somehow Connor Horn got through there.
Oh, man. Holy cow, that 28.
Oh, Spencer Burns. All right.
Watch the 28.
That moving and taking a decent hit.
Oh. 09 and Senesac also got a little piece of that. There goes Rafe just storing it into the ball.
Yeah, 7 really sideways there.
Yeah, he just typed in the text chat, "I suck." So he's not happy with his performance. Oh, man.
Rafe Slate managed to sneak through all that, I think.
He got into the wall at the very end.
And watch on the right here. Jake Nichols is going to get clipped too.
God,
Barely. Oh. Rafe did it to himself.
Yep.
Yeah, JT was asking us about that drinking game we talked about last week. No, we were going to reserve that for not a Monday night because we all have work, but maybe a Thursday. And I have to look at the schedule to see.
Today is technically a holiday too. So if we would have had a Sunday night race, we could have.
It would probably have to be Iowa, maybe, or maybe Thursday.
I think it goes caution-free Thursday.
We actually haven't really had that many yellows tonight. That's the thing. We've only had 7, which for Richmond isn't all that bad.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I think we had 9 last time out, so.
Let's go to our statistician, Hunter Sleppy, who pulls all the data from previous races.
Well, we had about, I want to say we averaged about 3 cautions here at Richmond. And then looking back at it from a season ago, we had, it loads, 9 cautions.
Hey, Finian! Look at you.
That was a guess. I did look at it. I did look at it earlier in the race.
Oh, we have an intruder in the broadcast.
This is what my life is lately. It's cold enough in this apartment that Apollo really doesn't want to go anywhere else.
Got to stay together for the body heat.
Yeah, actually, look at how he's laying.
He looks like he's shivering too.
It's so adorable.
Need a blanket, man.
He's got a bed. There's a candle burning right next to him. I mean, just look at this thing. How adorable.
Well, he is knocked out.
Yeah.
We just hit our cuteness quota for the month here on Area iRacing.
I just love the way that he's grabbing me. It's so adorable. All right.
If you left him last weekend.
Well, yeah. Only a couple days. He's fine.
So I was looking at the winners that we've had, and they've had very bad luck tonight so far. Matheson, Jake Nichols, Travis Beckner, James Kelly, all involved in wrecks. Connor Horn hasn't been involved in a wreck, though he's been involved in an incident. And he's sitting in 6th. He's really, I think, the highest race winner at the moment. Everyone else around him doesn't have a race win, looking for to get there first.
I'd peg him as being involved in that last incident. It happened right in his lap. Somehow, some way, he's come out the other side unscathed. But I'll tell you what, I'm impressed with the 2-tire call here. Don't sleep on that 5-car, guys. I'm not saying he's going to go up here and win.
But Garrett Grant has some pretty good runs here at Richmond.
He does, and he's sticking on this 2-tire call, and the track position's holding. We got 3 laps to try to hang on just a little bit more.
And if we get another yellow, it will be a green-white checkered. Actually, this is going to be a natural green-white checker because we got the lights on the pace car back on. So we will only get one more yellow if we get a green flag finish. If we get 2 more yellows, this race will end under caution.
There's an investigation going on to figure out who the heck stopped the delay of the green.
Skyler is off track. Justin Bondurant is still rolling. Exactly sure.
Might have been the 71, I think they're saying. I'm not sure. Regardless, they're re-racked again. And Kyle, I don't think we've seen the final restart.
Nope.
I don't think so either.
It can only be our last one, though. We won't get another restart after the next one. So let's see. Seth Knoll, Connor Okrasik side by side. 2 laps to go here from Richmond.
Or restart for the Ford team. Matthew Bell trying to take advantage to look to the outside. Michael Curran going to be on the inside, trying to see if he can get clear of the Ford team and have his way with the number 1. Is it 3 wide in behind?
And there they go.
Ooh,
Crash in
there
the
they
backstretch.
go.
Vincent Court.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man.
Big hits.
It is time for that green wide checker.
And we are in overtime here at Richmond. Let's see if we can figure out where this started. 41-32. Yep, right there. Oh man, the 28 just got clobbered.
What did the 32 hit?
Yeah, but like an invisible wall.
He didn't unlock that part of the track yet.
Either that or he hit a wizard from frickin' Hogwarts.
Oh, what?
What? There's some collusion going on.
Oh man.
There are mysterious forces at play.
Well, that's unfortunate for him, Beckner, and Ada Slate, because that was that was unusual.
I'll say.
What am I looking at?
We're not sure either.
So I had him flipping on my client side.
What?
Yeah, I kid you not. He was up in the cage fence, so I'm not sure what's going on with the 32 tonight. But here's radio from Miller Racing discussing the incident. They're a little unhappy with Tyler Nichols in the 41.
Oh, I'm really done now.
I'm killed. The dude just stopped in front of me.
Yeah.
You got
Tyler just
the guy in front of him.
You got a 4. Like after you got by him, Jake, he brake checked him again.
So, I know, looking at the replay, watching that, it looks like Tyler got a bump. He may have felt like he was headed toward the outside wall and didn't accelerate off the corner like Vincent did. And Vincent just kind of ran at the back of him. Probably one of them racing deals, but we got a green white checkered.
Carter Coop has her race control tonight, and the lap number is lap I want to go home.
Overtime. Unfortunately, Carter, you don't get paid time and a half.
No.
He was putting some funny stuff at Darby. Some stuff along those lines.
Well, now
they dinged Vincent Cortez.
Yeah, you know,
cause of incident.
The 41 was a little slow, but it doesn't just let you. I mean, Vincent had a couple opportunities, and at one point just kind of looked to me like he just kind of gave up trying to stop. But I guess in the moment, with only a couple laps to go, you're not going to lift, so it's kind of a lose-lose situation there for the 32.
The Jake and Jake show, by the way, did not make it out of that incident.
I didn't figure.
Yeah, they've had a rough 2 weeks. Both of them didn't do particularly well, and Darlington, if I'm not mistaken.
The Lady in Black denied their advances, and Richmond, second day didn't go so hot either, did it?
Just hope it doesn't turn into that toxic relationship that's on and off.
Well, it appears to be.
We don't like those.
We're going to Homestead next week. Maybe there's some Miami chick.
A side chick.
It'll definitely be warmer.
And then maybe Indianapolis. Maybe there's some ladies in. No, there's no. Doesn't exist.
Oh, there's Granny.
Indiana Granny. It's a type of apple, I think.
And then you got some toothless chicks down in Talladega.
That's Douglas Newbeginn's front end right now. Douglas Newbeginn's not carrying a bumper. He's all toothless.
Yeah, there is no way this ends under green. So Seth Knoll is in position to snag a win here if he can just stay out front for 2 laps here at Richmond. Green flag. Sunsets.
Oh, and a black flag for Connor O'Kresick being ahead of the one at the restart. So he's not going to be in contention for this. Seth Knoll trying to see if he can scamper away from everyone else.
Trying to time it perfect, but to no avail for the 14 of O'Kresick as the 1 of Knoll takes it into turn 3. Now the second place car. Curran under attack from Matthew Bell. And the 42 of Connor Horn. White flag. One more lap from Ricky.
We will make it to the white. Seth Knoll dives into turn 1. O'Kresick will be unable to cling to second. Michael Curran third. Connor Horn is battling deeper in the field for a top 4 spot. Look at him carve through the field last minute here. Seth Knoll, though, in the number 1. Tonight will be the number 1. Checkered flag waves at Richmond, and Seth Knoll outlasts the field as they crash across the stripe. Everybody's in the wall behind him.
Oh my goodness, they chose to wreck at the perfect time, just all across the start-finish line, and a lot of landscapers out there in the grass, including Jake Nichols.
Wow. Seth Knoll.
Oof.
Solar Flare Racing picks up a win tonight over Michael Curran. Connor Horn third. Skylar Shackelford. Blaze McKinney steals the top 5 after all that.
And Connor O'Kresick with the black flag gets relegated all the way back. Last car on the lead lap, 22nd.
Oh, that's mean.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for the 14 of O'Kresick because you only get so many opportunities to contend for a win. I was going to say, before he got interrupted by a caution, the last time he was in contention for a cup win back, I remember, was back at Auto Club, and that ended in a chaotic wreck where Michael Curran won, and then time to restart, perfect, and unfortunately he gets a black flag and sent to the tail end. But man, oh man, what a chaotic race this was at the very end. The 1 comes out on top.
Yeah, let's have a look at the very tail end of this, coming back to the checkers here. Just kind of, maybe we can see what we can see here. The 5 was wide. Everyone was just crashing. There's too much to look at.
Who crashed?
Bell was
Yes.
crowd surfing.
Yeah, there's crashes in at least 3 separate places happening there. Oh, that 77 hit the wall hard.
I think also we can take a look at the restart too to see what happened with the 14.
I'm sifting through on my client side trying to find that.
Let's see here.
So I'm having, maybe the blimp camera can get us a more overhead here.
No, right there.
Yeah,
just the
that little
slightest bit right there.
Does he fire off before Seth?
I don't know if it matters if he fired off. I think he's
If
before
he's
when
ahead
the green
when
was displayed.
Well, if he's ahead when the 1 fires off, which you can see here, he is ahead, then the 1 fires. The green...
Can we get a zoom on that?
No, well, I can. It's not convenient. But I think that the challenge is...
Don't worry about it then.
Is he's ahead, then the 1 fires, which is when the green comes out. And when the green comes out, so there's the green flag. Well, let's see. I don't have a light cam, do I, on this track?
Well, remember it's delayed anyway.
Oh, right. Yeah. So it's...
Yeah, it goes based off the leader's throttle, so
well,
it would fire
so right there. So
earlier.
The 14 is ahead. When the 1 fires, that is when the green flies. So if the 14's ahead, when he does that, he would get that penalty. So I don't think that that's wrong. It's just unfortunate. Anyway, let's have a look at your race results here. Seth Knoll picks up a win. Michael Curhan second. Great run for him in the 24. Then it's Connor Horn who grabs the third out of all that. Skylar Shackelford, Blaze McKinney, the rest of the top 5.
Yeah, really amazing to see the top 5, especially Skylar Shackelford, solid 4th for him. Then Matthew Bell coming flying across the line sideways in 6th place. Cedric Hunter, solid 7th for him. Garrett Grant in 8th. Then Matheson coming back to 9th, but David Weiser rounding out the top 10.
I think the best finish of the season for Garrett Grant, and Cameron Hearn just missing the top 10 along with Nina Sendesack. Then you got TK, Tyler Nichols, 13th. Licata's 14th. Brother Jake Nichols rallied for a top 15 finish, and then Jacob Bell 16th before he went crowd surfing with the help of Anna Sogak. Dom DeLeo 18th in his flu game, or flu race in this instance. Spencer Burns and Doug Newbigin rounding out the top 20.
And a look down the rest of the order. Ben Pierce had a couple incidents tonight, but was able to salvage a 21st. Connor Okresic gets that penalty, drops to 22nd place. Travis Beckner, dramas earlier with the 42, but the 28 finishes 24th. Vincent Cortez raced late. James Scioli also down at the bottom of the order. Mason Kane out early with the collision. Connor Horn joins us now. It was a win last week at Darlington, but tonight, wrong camera. I was going to bring you up instead of the cat because this is my current scenario.
I have
Connor,
a cat.
yeah,
It's
you
over
got
there.
you got yours too. Significantly less on you than mine is.
Yeah.
Connor, congratulations. Some dramas tonight, though. It got spicy out there a few times. Take me through your evening there, the battle with the 28, and then rebounding at the end when chaos ensued late on those restarts.
I feel like I had a top 5 car. It was so hard to pass. Any sort of track position you lost was destructive, and I overshot my box when we got that second yellow, the one that ended the first long green flag run. I went back to like 5th, and then I had to work. I was trying to work really hard to get by Seth. Good win to him, by the way. It was a good 2-tire call, but I worked too hard to get around him, so once I overshot the corner in the 1, he was gone. Travis never really made a legit attempt to pass me. He just kept wearing my back bumper off, beat and bang, and then eventually he just kind of fed me his right rear out of 4 and tried to put me in the wall, and then I guess he assumed I wasn't going to return the favor. I hit him once and he couldn't control it, so like, I don't know, 15 hits to my rear bumper. I held it. He gets hit once and spins, so I guess, I don't know, Jason Beckner didn't teach him great car control, I guess, but other than that, we had a good race, good rebound. I got really crazy at the end there, obviously, with that last yellow. I knew 2 tires. I mean, great call to Seth, but my tires were shot. That wasn't going to work. So I just took 4 and just hope for the best. Try to get back to the top 10, which is where I kind of restarted anyways. Then James spinning was crazy, but that didn't hurt until the second spin. Then the 2 Jakes, I guess, took each other out, which really shook things up and made me think I could at least maybe scam a top 5 out of it. And then, just kept wrecking. Then next restart, Scioli got loose on my front bumper. That was scary because I almost couldn't get away from him. I got a lot of right front damage out of it, but it didn't really affect the handling. And then we got restart after restart. Didn't really want to restart on the bottom, but it ended up working out. The 9 didn't have a good run out of the corner, ended up sliding. And obviously I got by the 5, I think, as well. So, yeah, what happened with Okresic, I mean, it was close. I think it's because he was speeding into the zone a little early, a little faster than the 1. It's probably why I gave him black flag. I don't really know if he jumped it, but I'll take a free interview regardless. Just happy to get back to where we did and get 2 of our cars in the top 5 is pretty crazy considering what happened to Jeremy. Skylar drove a great race, and I'm especially happy about the double top 5.
Connor Horn, 3rd place tonight, coming off a win last week. Keep the momentum going, Connor. We'll see you next week at Homestead.
Yes, sir. Shout out to 609. Like I said, Skylar shock for Jeremy Miller. Yusuf Ghali didn't make it tonight, but us 3 ran pretty well. Jeremy just got taken out a little too late. And yeah, 73 Creative, Jonathan Oates for making our schemes. Couldn't win this week, but still a good week, so thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Yes, sir. See you tomorrow.
And Michael Curhan comes home in 2nd place in the number 24. Michael, tonight a pretty good race. You started up in 5th, ran about as low as 10th, but didn't really disappear outside of the top 10 all night long. Through green flag runs, through yellow flags, you were here, there, and everywhere. And then all of a sudden, P2 at the very end. Congratulations, but I'm sure you're as surprised as we are to be this high on the board at the end of the race.
Yeah, a little bit. It was kind of gifted to me there with those last few cautions and whatnot. Yeah, the first long run that we had that got us to about halfway through the race, I kind of struggled on that long run, which I was surprised with. Usually I'm okay with saving tires, but I was falling back, like you said, to 9th or 10th. And then the caution came out and I was able to kind of reassess what I was doing, was able to make up a few spots. And then there at the end, those last few cautions, I think the Jakes got together and kind of took themselves out, and just, yeah, through attrition, I was able to come out in P2. So it was kind of gifted to me, but I'll take it. I really need the win, though, so I was hoping for P1, but another strong effort, though. I'll take it.
Regardless, it was a great points night for you, Michael. Congratulations, and thanks for chatting with us. Best of luck to you next week at Homestead, Miami.
Thanks, Kyle. And just real fast, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Physicus Motorsports, NAI, DeLeo Bram, Fame Construction, Flash Picks, all the teammates, and all the guys and girls back at the shop bringing us some hot rods every week. So appreciate everything that they do. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, Michael. And last but not least, Seth Knowles' first win of the season comes here at Richmond. And Seth, tonight you led 27 laps, but that was not as high as the Jake and Jake show. They led the majority of the laps, but they ended up crashing out, and then you were there to pick up the pieces and go on to take your first victory of the year. Tell me how you're feeling and how chaotic things might have been those last 10, 15 laps.
I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, we got the home track win finally in the area. Finally able to break through that. We've ran well here the last 2 seasons, just not quite good enough. It was really hard to pass tonight, so not qualifying on pole made it really difficult. And we're able to drive up to 4th, chill behind both the Jakes, and chill behind James as we battled for 3rd. And sadly, we ended up having contact there that brought out the yellow to end the run. But felt like there was 5 cars that were pretty equal, pretty close, and it was just really whoever got the lead. And that's what led to the 2-tire call, and we were able to take control of the race and finish it off.
Well, building momentum, it's all about that as we close in on the playoffs here in just about 3 rounds' time. How important is it to build momentum at the right time starting here at Richmond?
Well, last season we didn't build momentum towards the playoffs, but we just showed up in the playoffs, so we'll see how this season goes. But honestly, I don't even know what track is next, so it's good to click off the win, finally just get that off our chest. Now we can just focus on getting points for the team. And then 3 weeks' time, you said, we'll look to the playoffs and try and execute from there.
It is Homestead, Indianapolis, and Talladega, Seth. Best of luck to you there, and we'll see you next week.
All right, we're going for a Talladega win.
All right, we'll see you next time.
All right, appreciate you, Kyle.
See ya. All right, guys. Wow. This track doesn't disappoint. It has been dramatic in the past, but tonight we're going to end things with at least maybe not a first-time area winner, but a first of the season winner. Eric Wineland, your final thoughts tonight here on Richmond and its plight for some of the drivers there towards the tail end.
Man, Jake and Jake tripping over each other looks like the Eagles tripping over the Bucks right now. So I did not expect that one. Obviously, I called it the Jake and Jake show to be the one after I unfortunately was fashionably late. Kind of surprised that we didn't have more yellows, but loved the racing, saw some strategy mixed in there. Still not sold that Connor Okrezik is going to have his penalty stand on that final restart. They're gonna spend hours reviewing that footage, and we'll give you an update on that prior to next week's race, Kyle. But nonetheless, Seth Knoll picking up the pieces, as you mentioned. Pretty good way to look at it, and he's got himself in a good spot headed toward the playoffs now. Excited to see what these guys can do at Homestead next time out. Finian?
Yeah, I mean, some great racing from everyone overall. Just crazy to see how a lot of the normal guys you expect to see near the top for this season ended up crashing out or getting involved in some sort of incident or the other. But always fun to see a new first-time winner for the season. So Seth Knoll going to join the list. 6 winners this season. We'll see if we get another 7th winner next week at Homestead, Miami.
Yeah, it should be a good race for next week at Homestead, Miami, the famous 1.5-mile track where should be the race where the season ends, but unfortunately that is just a mere fiction, not non-fiction. But tonight was a good race at Richmond. Had some tempers flaring in the middle of it, and towards the very end it got very chaotic. And Kyle, I'm pretty sure you're happy that this is over, so you can put the cat to bed.
I think Apollo is about ready to. I should be done here at this stage, but from all of us here at Sim TV, fun night here at Richmond. Well, here he goes. And we're about to wrap things up. We'll see you at Homestead, Miami next week, but not before the Truck Series race at Michigan tomorrow night, and then right back here at Richmond on Thursday. We'll see you there. Kyle Heyer, Hunter Sleppy, Finney DeCuna, and Eric Wineland from Sim TV. We'll see you next time.